The emotion of fear is very powerful, and sometimes there's a battle between where you want to be, the goal, the dream, the desire, and the current fear that you're experiencing, and it's stopping you from achieving the success that you want. And so I want to show you how to stop stopping yourself and how to overcome the fear of success. I'm actually going to share with you 7 destructive, limiting beliefs that create fear and stop you from taking action and achieving your goals, your dreams, and your desires. It's been over 14 years since I started on my entrepreneurial journey. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I didn't have people around me that were successful. And so I had to figure out success by studying the subconscious mind, traveling all over the world, investing into programs, coaching. And over time, I learned the tools and the mindsets to create the success that you want. So I help people change their brain so they can grow their income and their impact. And I've been lucky enough to help people make 6- and 7-figure incomes in their businesses. I've helped people overcome procrastination, resistance, doubt, fear, and the stuff that really holds them back from being that 2.0 version of themselves that creates that reality that they want. So if you're someone that wants to be my next success story and you want to create a lot of success in your life through shifting your mindset, then go ahead and get my free training. The link will be in the description on how to change your brain so you can grow your income and your impact. When I first started out 14 years ago, trying to pursue doing things for myself, being self-sufficient, creating my own income streams without having a job, there was a lot of fears, a lot of anxieties. I knew I wanted to really do it, but I would find myself stopping myself. I would get to the computer and try to start working, but there was this internal dialogue, this internal resistance. It felt like my mind was shutting down sometimes. I was procrastinating and doing things that were easier, that didn't really make any sense in doing. I would find myself going out with friends instead of focusing on what I really wanted to focus on. I would focus on creating like logos and the website and doing all this stuff that doesn't genuinely matter when it comes to creating success in a business. I got excited about buying new domain names. Oh, I got a new idea. Here's a new domain name. And I would just have this shiny object syndrome and buy product after product and course after course, because I felt like indulging in these things and getting these things would lead to my success. But underneath it all was subconscious programs and limiting beliefs. So I know what it's like to feel fear. I know what it's like to have internal resistance. I know what it's like to procrastinate. I know what it's like to be someone who's not really being optimal to creating the life that they want. Now, they say success is outside of your comfort zone, but most people struggle to move through that fear, that thick fear that stops them from achieving what they really want to achieve. Now, before I share with you these 7 limiting beliefs, I want to quickly explain something very important for you to understand. If you don't understand this, then there's no point in us moving forward. All right. This is a global subconscious pattern that people have. And what I mean by global is mostly everyone has this. And it's a part of your brain and the way your brain functions. A part of your brain is called the amygdala, and it sits like around here, right? And the amygdala is like a almond shape, and you got it on both sides of your brain, okay? And this controls your fight or flight. This controls the root cause of fear itself. And this global fear that we all have is the fear of fear itself. You're afraid of fear itself, right? Most people are afraid of the feeling, the emotion of fear. And so because of that, they find it very hard to do things that are fearful, right? That are scary, that are new, that are different, that are challenging. And so this global pattern is very destructive, but I want to share with you the branches of this core root fear so you can begin to dissolve, melt it, and dismantle it. So after working with hundreds of clients and helping many people transform their subconscious patterns and their limiting beliefs, the first limiting belief that I want to share with you is the limiting belief of jealousy. Sounds crazy. You might think that you don't have it, but listen closely. So one of the patterns that I had when I first started my YouTube channel is I was jealous of other people's success on YouTube. I saw people blowing up on YouTube. They were making a lot of progress and all of this stuff. I saw them making a lot of money. I'm like, I was a little bit envious, a little bit jealous of their success. And some of us just do this naturally where, someone goes on holiday and they're like, oh, I want to go on holiday. I'm jealous. I want to go too. It's just that little subconscious pattern, limiting belief of jealousy of other people's success. Like, can I do that? Will I be able to ever achieve this? It's like a subtle kind of jealous feeling. And this jealousy is very destructive because when you achieve success now, when you get to having that successful YouTube channel, making a lot of money or whatever it is that you're going for, your subconscious knows that, hey, if I achieve this level of success, other people are going to be jealous of me. If you are now jealous of people who are successful in this moment right now, and you don't celebrate their success, you're like, oh, I wish I could do that or whatever it is. And it's not like, no, that's totally possible for me. I celebrate their success. I welcome their success. If it's not like that and it's like a little bit destructive, now you're going to feel like other people are going to be jealous of you. Maybe your family, maybe your friends, maybe, people around you at work or whatever it is. The core fear is being judged at having more success than someone else and making other people feel jealous of you. And so the switch for this is realizing that you need to celebrate all kinds of success. This sounds crazy. I've said it before in some of my other videos that even people who do bad things with money, you have to celebrate their success. The reason being is because you do not want to have any negative association with success. If you feel like people do bad things with money and money is the root of all evil, and when people become successful, they change, and there's just negative association towards money and success, now your subconscious mind thinks, hey, well, when I achieve success, I'm now a bad person to have money. I'm now a bad person to succeed. Maybe I'll do bad things with money. Maybe I'll change and all of this stuff. And so your subconscious mind brings up these fears and limiting beliefs and subconscious blocks that are blocking you from moving forward, because it's just like, I don't want to become, something that is, uncontrollable. I don't want to become this person who, is whatever, right? Now, consciously, you might feel like, hey, I would never do that. I would never do bad things with money. I would do good things with money and all this stuff. But it doesn't matter what you think consciously. Your conscious mind is only responsible for 3%, 5% of your results in life. A majority of results, and 98, 97, 95% of your results is a result of what's inside your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is not logical. Your subconscious mind doesn't understand context. And so your conscious mind can put things into context. The subconscious mind says, well, if people do bad things with money, then, money must be bad, or money must change people, or when I achieve success, I'm going to become bad. So again, you have to celebrate and welcome all kinds of success so that on a subconscious level, you naturally become okay with achieving more success, and that fight or flight fear response doesn't come up. Subconscious pattern number 2, limiting belief number 2. This limited belief is afraid to be seen by other people as successful, where your friends see you differently, your family sees you differently, or even being on social media and putting yourself out there. Most people hide behind the camera and they focus on, writing posts and all of this stuff, and they don't want to show up and show themselves because they feel like they're being exposed. And so there's this deep fear that when you reach a certain level of success, you're in the limelight and people can see you and everyone's looking at you. And a lot of people don't necessarily like being the center of attention. Some people do, some people don't. But being seen and being exposed, to everyone's eyes being on you can be very detrimental. One of the biggest fears that people have is public speaking, where all eyes are on them, and being afraid to say the wrong thing. And so for a lot of people, they're afraid to say the wrong thing. They're afraid to write the wrong blog post. They're afraid to start the business and it's going to fail. And then you'll be seen as a failure, and people won't like me or love me anymore. Or you're judging yourself, judging how you see yourself. Most people are actually focused on themselves. They're not focused on what you're doing and your failures and your successes and pointing the finger and ha ha ha, hilarious, embarrassment and all of this stuff. Most people are focused on themselves, and, traditionally, when people fail, it's like, oh, it's normal to fail. Like, I don't know, in people's heads is like, well, that's a normality. Like success is a little bit abnormal. Well, a lot of success is abnormal for a lot of people. And so that's why people have a fear of success, a fear of creating more. But I think for a lot of people inside of their subconsciouses, other people's subconsciouses, it's okay to fail. It's okay to not win, because there is a dynamic, which I'm not going to get into too much, but there is a dynamic where people don't want to necessarily see you leave, and move on with your life and be successful, because they like you around, and they like the tribe that you've built. They like the connection and the bonds that you've built. And so if you become more successful, they might get left behind. So there is that subtle subconscious mind limiting belief that people have within themselves. And so it's about breaking through that and realizing that success is totally normal and it's totally natural. And one of the most powerful things you could do is start surrounding yourself with like-minded people who have the success that you want. Then it will start becoming normal to you. The third subconscious pattern and limiting belief that people have that cause a lot of fear is basically feeling like you're leaving people behind, which is similar to the one that I just explained, right? You feel like you're leaving people behind and you want to bring people with you. And I experienced this when I first watched the movie The Secret. And, I was into the law of attraction. I was telling everyone about it, but no one was really interested. Like, hardly anyone was interested. And I wanted to show people that you can change your life. You can do all this stuff. And so I was really motivated, but I was talking to the wrong people at the time, right? Now, I share law of attraction stuff on this YouTube channel, and, I share it with the people that want to hear it. Does that make sense? And so we tend to want to bring people with us, our friends, our family, and all of this stuff. And so we don't want to feel like we're leaving them behind. But one of the biggest things that we can do is cut that cord and move forward with our lives and create the success that we want, so that we can then empower them and inspire them to live the life that they want as well. The fourth limiting belief is, can I handle it? Right? Can you really handle the life that you want? Having all of that financial success, maybe moving country or moving state or whatever it is. Maybe it's all the people that you have to deal with, all the customers, all the sales, all the technical stuff with the website, and how do I create my branding and my logo, and do I have to hire a team, and what about taxes and all this stuff. We think of all of these things, and can I handle that lifestyle? Can I handle having that amount of money? What will I do with the money? Will I lose all of the money? And so it's very important to get that level of confidence and certainty that you've probably had challenges in the past, and correlate it with your current life. So you take those challenges that you've been through in your life and realize, wait, I've been through a lot and I've been able to handle quite a lot. And well, if I can handle that, then I can handle this, I can create this, I can figure it out. And Marie Forleo has a really good book called Everything is Figure Outable. Okay, everything is figure outable. So you can always figure things out. There's loads of solutions out there. And if you want to accelerate your results and you want to have a lot of success, one of the best things you could do is hire a coach. And so you got the support to get to that goal much faster and much easier. The fifth limiting belief I want to share with you kind of ties in with the first one, with jealousy, is that money and success is bad. Again, if you inherently feel like success is bad, or having more is bad, and it's greed and all of these ideas about success and what it is, then obviously your mind's not going to go for it. You have to inherently believe that success is good, and having a lot of money is good, and making progress is good, and growing is good, and breaking outside your comfort zone is good, and moving beyond fear is good, and showing up and being your true full self is good. Because a lot of people, again, are afraid to be judged and to be seen, right? And we tend to hold ourselves back from creating success. People know you to be a certain way, right? People know you to be a certain way. Your whole life, you've been this way. And so it's hard to break those patterns and be someone different when you've been that way your whole life towards other people. And so now you're trying to think differently, be different, have different attitudes, behavior, move on and grow. But yet people already know you to be a certain way. And so you're struggling to break through that. Struggling to break through that and have the success that you want. So if you achieve more money and have more success, that means it makes you look bad to these people, or you don't want to offend them, or, they're going to judge you to, being that way. And you've changed and I don't like you anymore. And so we're afraid of being lonely. That's the root cause of that. We're afraid of being lonely and not having those same friends and same connections and bonds and relationships. So what we have to do there is shift the idea that it's bad and shift it to being good by questioning why we think it's bad, by questioning why we think, these people are going to think these things, because a lot of it is assumptions. A lot of it is guesswork. Have you genuinely gone up and asked the person, what do you think of me achieving this and doing this and all this stuff, right? And so don't assume, what other people think of you. That's one of the most destructive things that people do when it comes to creating more success. They guess in their mind, well, if I do this, then, people are going to act like this towards me, or things are going to change. And so I don't want to achieve that success because now I believe success is bad because it changes people and how people treat me. And so they're just going to take my money. They're not going to love me the same way anymore. And, they just going to want to take stuff from me. Does that make sense? And so you need to question those belief systems and shift them, and then focus on what you really want to create and know all the benefits of that and creating that in your life. The sixth limiting belief is that, well, if I achieve the success, I might lose it all. I might lose all the money. I might fail. And then I might have to, lose my car, my home, and all this stuff. And so you want to ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen from achieving success? And then get really comfortable with it. Because when I first started, I was willing to sleep in a car. I was willing to lose everything and sleep in a car, because that's how bad I wanted to create the success that I want. But it's about realizing what you would be okay with, becoming aware of it. What's the worst thing that can happen? And are you okay with that? Maybe you have to move back in with your parents. Maybe you will have to, sell your car and downgrade your car, maybe downgrade your home, cut a few bills and all this stuff. But that's totally fine. At least you lived life to the fullest. At least you pushed through and overcame this fear of success and made an attempt. And again, I don't recommend going out there and trying to figure it out for yourself. I recommend hiring a coach and getting, the steps to success, because success leaves clues, right? Once you have a coach, once you have a mentor that's guiding you on the journey to success, it makes the process much easier and it reduces the amount of fear significantly. The seventh limiting belief is the fear of who you will become, right? The fear of who you will become when you achieve the success that you want. Because your subconscious mind doesn't know what it's like to have that lifestyle. And you don't want to be, a dick. You don't want to be rude. You don't want to be like standoffish. Like you don't want to be like one of those people who is not kind anymore. You're not loving, or you're not respecting people. It's almost like we have this idea from the television, from the media, that when you reach a certain level of success, you become stuck up. I was just watching Scarface the other day, and he was a bit of a sociopath and narcissist, but he, just became worse and worse the more money he got. And so what does that train your brain to think? Well, when I get more money and success, I'll get into drugs, I'll get into this. You have to be careful what you watch and embed into your subconscious mind. So, you might start thinking these things or associate these things that, again, success is bad. And, what if I become this person who's toxic or whatever it is? Now, obviously, consciously, you're not thinking this way. But again, this is subconscious. This is beneath the surface. And a lot of people don't recognize these things. Some of these things you might not resonate with. Some of these things you might resonate with. But it doesn't matter whether you resonate with it or not. These are subconscious patterns that a lot of people have. And it's subconscious, so we don't even know that it's there. Does that make sense? And so that's why we want to dive into the subconscious mind and really understand it on a deep level. So if you're someone that's ready and you're committed to creating your dream life and you're ready to becoming that new version of yourself where you take action, you overcome fear, you start the business, you do the stuff that really matters in the business. You're not saying you're going to do something, you actually do it, and you're being practical and predictable about your success. Then I highly suggest that you check out my free training in the description on how to change your brain so you can grow your income and your impact. I'm going to share with you how to create success in a practical and predictable way where you're able to overcome those fears, those anxieties, the resistance, the procrastination, and really become that 2.0 version of yourself so you can create the reality that you want instantaneously. So go ahead and check that out. The link will be in the description, and check out my previous video on how to go from being an employee to an entrepreneur. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.